Hello guys, they just added G20 into the game and I've noticed something interesting. First of all, it's very nice because you can now see by the boxes that you're missing how many pieces they need. So you can look, for example, at city and have a rough estimation of what you want to bring for unlocking Professor Xavier, because you need 5 city. So you see, like, Oath and Blade take 3 pieces. Moon Knight also takes 3 pieces. He was 4, if I remember correctly. They changed some characters to make them a little bit cheaper. Some characters that aren't worth me anyways, but it's nice that they did that. A 3 makes it definitely more considering Moon Knight. And you can see, for example, I want to bring Noir because it takes only 2 pieces and go like that. But I've noticed something very interesting here in this piece here. So a 900,000 health and 58,000 damage is extremely impactful for those characters. And now we are not missing the uniques, we're not really missing those. Maybe we will after we are more into it, and we're not really missing those. Maybe we will later. We are basically limited of those gear tier 20. So there was a concept that it's almost called like half gear. It's from a content creator that now isn't making any videos anymore. Uh, his name was Gangster KT, so I'm keeping him the same name for continuity because some people might be familiar with it. So, and there's also the option, if you want, to put like a smaller pieces, like gear tier 19. Some of those you may already have, but what I'll be doing, and I need to add a caveat here that the stats people get from this piece are reliant on how new they are in the game. So, for example, if you go into a Moondragon who is reworked, he only gets 30,000 health. He gets 900,000 health. So this is a waste to do this. This is worth it to do now. Uh, Captain America Sam, the same. If you go to characters that were reworked, that are even older, you see even older stats, and or like Storm, or what's crazy was looking at Agatha, how little stats she gets. So, definitely for newer characters, but they don't need to be exactly after Ares. They need to be after a Secret Defenders game. I know most people are remembering exactly how. So you see, it's a bit gradual. I'm not 100% sure if I want to do Apocalypse now, but it's kind of decent, his stats, in contrast with Strange. Um, I know most people don't remember exactly when they who are the characters that came after Secret Defense. Doesn't really matter. Just remember that the super new characters after Ares will gain great stats after that. For that, the characters that maybe are 1 year older after that are getting still some decent stats, and then you have characters that are reworked, that are older, that get crappy stats, and it's not worth it. So what I'll be doing is, and my understanding is this is before you apply ISO and I think the Stark Tech, how's this called? I haven't gone into it since forever. Stark Tech, yes. So I'm gonna do it in Odin to see. So he's now at 12,900. See, he gets like 2 million plus. So it's definitely a thing that you want to do for characters that you really want to bring. 2 million health, 90,000 damage. So that's crazy. They just went on the top of my roster, and they are everywhere used. So what I'm gonna be looking is characters that I'm like at least 90% convinced that I'm gonna bring, and even like 99%, let's say, and that I have enough of those to bring two other characters, or at least one. Maybe the smart thing to do is to take a look at which characters you want from these uniques, and if you will see that you need, for example, here I may bring like Nimrod and Silent Supreme, so I need 3. I need 75. I have 75. I can put this on Kahori and be happy with it. Kahori is amazing. I'm not gonna need this here. But maybe if you go into Apocalypse, that there is more character here. Not too much, but okay. There's like Shadow King, Phoenix is an option. You may want to. I think Apocalypse is an earlier section than Shadow King. And Apocalypse doesn't get so much stats. I'm gonna think a little bit more about it if I want to bring Apocalypse or not. I'm definitely not doing that into like 20 characters. I may do it in 5 or 10. I'm gonna do it into characters that I have more of this unique, that I'm using, and I'm fairly convinced that I'm gonna bring into Dark Dimension or the saga for Professor Xavier. So, for example, Blade is a character like that. That I have many of those. I want health and damage into him. He's fairly certain, like look at those stats, that's crazy. He's fairly certain that is the first section and the best character we have now for City. I doubt they're gonna have 5 City characters before him. And Blade is amazing, in like a top 10, maybe even top 5 characters. I don't think top 5, but top 10 definitely. And I'm not touching those too much. Maybe I should, like Blade and Kahori. I don't think it's like super, especially Blade, that it's one of the earliest sections. It's not super risky to put those, especially now that I don't have to pay for those. It's different if I have to. Where is it? 390,000, I think, yes. It's a bit more expensive to do it this way, and you kind of wasting those here, but the pieces you already have. I'm also gonna be putting like anything that's not a Crimson Gear, because we have too many of those. If you start getting into Gear Tier 18 pieces, they are more expensive and they don't get the crazy stat boost, but it's nice. So I'm definitely not gonna miss those, and they're very cheap to put, so maybe you have a little bit of a stat advantage this way. Please be careful of the older characters. Don't put those pieces on Strange, and then you are not bringing Strange even though he's only 2 pieces, because or you wasting your mystic gear and your catalysts, and then you don't have enough to bring your sections that are before him. I'm just gonna do very few characters that are great, that you really want to have this stat boost. I'm probably gonna do Kahori. That you want to have those stats boosts now. I'm gonna think hard about characters like Apocalypse, because he takes many pieces. Okay, I'm gonna make Apocalypse, but he's expensive, and he gets moderate stats boosts or medium stats boosts. They're not small like a character that are as you go into older toons, they're smaller and smaller stats that they get from this. So this is for like your Mephistos, your Odins, a couple of characters. After that you're fairly convinced that you are gonna bring and you want the stats now, I think it's smart to put those pieces. I'm not super liking the idea of putting the gear tier 19 pieces, but gear tier 20 into blade because it's the first section. Maybe. The bad thing with Mythic are they take 5 pieces, so if you bring like Odin or Mephisto, all the pieces, you may have to wait more to start city. So food for thought. A gear tier 19 point half, let's call it, and take advantage of those crazy buffs like the 3 million health, and it's not very expensive to put those